It's always very emotional for me to be here in South Africa. This year is particularly important for us because it marks the 10 years of our working with the education system here in terms of helping teachers, upskill themselves and also to transform mathematical outcomes in this country. The theme of this conference about conversations, I really like the theme because I've been reading about this Israeli historian called Yuval Noah Harari. He teaches at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And he says, I think one of the most important things for us as educators is to have big conversations with students. Conversations like, for example, our lives have been taken over by Amazon, Airbnb, Facebook, Google. And these software engineers who are literally controlling every movement of us, they haven't really been taught about ethics while coding. So what are the implications of the world we're living in? Similarly, you look at globalization and how it is impacting developing countries. How is income inequality? Is it going up, going down? Why is there still poverty? So these big questions, I think, are the conversations we need to have with students. And as far as education is concerned, I think, everybody needs to raise their game in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And before coming to the conference, I had a snap poll with about 100 different adults from different fields of life. And one thing that came across, common across everybody's perspective was the learning agility and the need to have skills that will make you stay relevant in this century. So the way I see a shift in the vision for education is if we would move away from academic subjects and grades to a model where we are empowering students with the right transferable skills and agencies to be able to solve societal problems. And there's a lovely acronym by an American author who also coined the word digital native. And he said, let's get rid of the mess. And the mess stands for maths, English, social studies, and sciences. And he said, let's replace them by transferable skills. Can we think of algebra as a proxy for symbolic and abstract thinking? Can we think of language as communication? Can we think of social sciences as human conflict? Can we talk of English literature as, human behavior? And science as, inquiry and skeptical thinking? So if we look at these subjects not as subjects but as transferable skills, then we are really preparing our learners to become T-shaped individuals, where they have depth of expertise in any one area of specialization, but they're able to really connect the dots across a very large horizontal. So the bar at the top is the horizontal skills, which are multidisciplinary thinking. And I just want to quote one more really good example of this. A professor from Rockefeller University, Joel Cohen. And I would urge all of you to read this article because I'm sitting here with teachers and principals, and this is very interesting. What he says about the power of multidisciplinary thinking is, mathematics is biology's next microscope, only better. So the way the microscope revolutionized biology in terms of seeing objects that earlier the naked eye couldn't see, that really opened up the field of biology. And the way the microscope played a role for biology, mathematics is going to play that role for biology because of the ability to go through vast amounts of data and to be able to inform biologists about the understanding of their field better. Similarly, biology will be mathematics next physics, but only better. So the way physics revolutionized mathematics and pushed mathematicians to understand calculus and find solutions that they were struggling with in terms of the universe and astronomy and things like that. Similarly, today, biologists will push mathematicians to come up with models which will make life easier for them. So this multidisciplinary thinking brings me to the point that I think one of the challenges for teachers would be to become cross-curricular specialists and to be able to develop projects and tasks which require this kind of interdisciplinary thinking. And one wonderful example from the field of arts, because you mentioned about art, I came across this really good project where a student has to write a 3,000-word essay on looking at, through the medium of art, to understand why men have dominated women over centuries in different societies. And so can you look at feminism? Can you look at, male dominance through the, even from simple fairy tales? The female is always the victim in every fairy tale, from Grimm's fairy tales to all our Indian, comic books as well. So can we relook at that and see, through the medium of art, how we can deal with this very big societal issue? So it's going to be a very difficult task for teachers to become cross-curricular specialists, but I think their biggest role is to help students find their passion. And I think also part and parcel of that will be to help them develop their social and emotional skills. I think that is going to take center stage. And with the death of values in Silicon Valley and the loss of trust in institutions worldwide, whether it is government, whether it is the corporate sector, media, I think humanity will become the center of all conversations. And ethics, empathy, resilience, leadership, these are things that AI and robots can never replace. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.